Yeah, let's talk about the side effects. I mean, just going into infertility, it's not just one hormone that you're messing with. Like, you have a male factor and female factor. So it's a really big thing to, just, retrain our brain to think it's all connected. You can't just focus on, your scrotum or your uterus. You really have to be focusing on a whole body, a whole holistic thing, because a lot of the time, what may be causing your infertility has nothing to do with that, Absolutely. and then the side effects of not having, let's reiterate, your case is really extreme. But the side effects of being on all these hormone replacement drugs is crazy. And I think it's really good for everyone to hear this, especially women, because most of the time it's the woman who has to do all the hormone replacement, and they beat themselves up because they a lot of the time become a raging bitch, and then their relationship with their partner starts breaking down because of those issues, and it just, it spirals. So it does. Yeah, it's hard. But yeah, let's talk about the side effects of your therapies.
So the side effects, I hope you guys are all ready for this, because this is the super fun part. So the side effects, the obvious, my testosterone levels have completely tanked. That's due primarily to the steroid use. But I was under a doctor's care having testosterone replacement therapy done because my body no longer produces testosterone. Mm-hmm. Now, what happens when you pull a man's testosterone completely out of him? First thing that happened was I lost a ton of weight. I'm down about close to between 25 and 30 pounds. Now, keep in mind, I'm not trying to lose weight. I haven't really changed the way I eat by any means. That's, you guys that follow me, you see what I do, you see that I still work out, you see all those things. So I've lost a ton of muscle, and even though I'm eating, I'd say I'm spot on probably about 80% of the time, which is how I've been. Even in my bodybuilding days when I was in my off season, I'd eat about 80-20. I'd eat pizza, burgers, fries, on top of my good food, and I'd still maintain a pretty solid looking physique.
Yep.
Now, even being in a caloric deficit most days, I have this fun little spare tire around my abdominal area, which I've never had in my life. I have, like I said, my pecs they're very sensitive, and they feel very soft. My strength is down by, I couldn't even tell you percentage. I mean, I used to deadlift, upwards of 500s, close to 600 pounds. I used to squat in the 400s. I'm happy to hit 315 on a back squat for like a double. I used to do that for sets of 15. My clothing, it doesn't fit anymore because I've gotten so small. I used to be busting out of a size large. There are times I can fit into a size small now. And mentally what that does to you is it's pretty hard. I remember when we were shopping. Well, there was one day in particular where I tried something on, and I just shook my head at my wife, Brittany. I was like, this is fucking terrible. And excuse my language, but I'm going to be very frank with you guys. And she was like, you know what? Let's just go get you some new clothing. You're cranky. My wife's telling me I'm cranky. You're cranky. Yes, I am quite cranky, and I'm very lethargic all the time. I can go to sleep by 9 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm also not motivated the way I normally am. I'm a very go-get-em kind of person, and it's a fight to even get out of bed some mornings. But going back to that story about the shopping, we went and I was trying on clothing, and I was grabbing size medium shirts, and they were fitting like trash bags.
Yeah.
Which, from someone who is a bodybuilder, who is barely fitting into a large, to not even be able to fill out a size small in a matter of 8 months is a psychological mindfuck, to say the least.
Yeah. And I think everyone feels that when you're on those kind of, drugs during infertility. Women obviously go the opposite way. They gain weight, they get the bloating, all those factors. And, I don't want to downplay it, because it is just in your head. It's not you.
I don't feel like, I tell my wife all the time, I'm like, I don't know who I am right now.
Yeah. You start losing your identity. And even though it's, hopefully it's going to be a short-term thing for most people doing these, drugs, it's still really important to have that backup or have that in you to keep supporting yourself and going, okay, this is just going to be temporary. Mm-hmm. It's hard. This is not me. This is not who I identify with, but I will get through it.
Yeah. No, the identity portion and like not feeling like yourself. I mean, I tell Brittany all the time. I mean, there's times I'm not a crier, and I could literally be watching a commercial about puppies, or if we watch something sad on TV, I'm the one who cries. I'm like, babe, what's wrong? Nothing.
Right?
Nothing. It was the ISSA commercial. I think that's the company about the dogs. That was really sad. The poor dog. That's me though now, and it's never been me. I can I know you said you wanted to talk about the identity when we were speaking before, but yeah, I don't know who I am. How I feel in my head. I see you, women's health. How even the way I think sometimes, like my mind could take something that I normally wouldn't get bent out of shape of, and it just runs. Like it just runs. I joke around with my clients. I'm like, but no, it's not really a joke, because if you were actually to look at the blood panels, it'd probably be similar. I'm pretty much a menopausal woman.
Yeah.
On my blood panels, if you look at my blood panel and a menopausal woman's blood panel, they're very similar.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and your hormones play into your thoughts, your serotonin levels, your hormone levels. I mean, it plays into everything. Yeah. I crave chocolate. I've never been a chocolate person. I like sour candy. I mean, I can't. That is the most mind-blowing thing to me. I've always been Sour Patch Gummy Bears. That was my thing. Chocolate was like, hit or miss. I crave chocolate like nobody's business. and that's not even a joke. I completely understand the chocolate craving thing. Yeah. I crave it all the time. Yeah. And it's uncontrollable, because when that craving hits, I'm like, I gotta find a piece of chocolate.
And people don't realize it's a hormone imbalance. Absolutely. It's not that you don't have willpower not to eat chocolate. You literally, your body is all screwed up, and you cannot control it.
No, and coming from the bodybuilder portion of my life, you want to talk about willpower. I've dieted for 20 plus weeks. There's times where I eat tilapia for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, literally 6 meals a day, eating tilapia and asparagus for like 7 to 10 days. So you want to talk about willpower. I got that nailed down. Yeah. Now, forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's why a lot of, people in the situation beat themselves up and feel like a failure, and then they get brought down even more, is because they think, I have no willpower, I'm not good enough. You see other people do it, they're fine. And it's just a spiral.
It's thank God. And Mandy, if you're still listening, like I said, you did what you had to do as a journalist. But the time we did almost 4 hours of interview. Mm-hmm. And in that interview, I go into a lot of detail about many things that didn't get talked about in the article, which is fine. They used certain quotes of mine to support what they wanted to get by, or what they wanted to what they wanted to say in their message, and it was that there's a lot of shame based around male infertility, which we get into later. But what I was going to say, hold on, you just asked me something. What did you just ask me again?
I think there was just your willpower, and there's just so much more about the fertility imbalance, your hormone imbalance,
and people beating themselves up over it.
Yep.
It's really easy to beat yourself up over it, because you're sitting there, you're racking your brain out, you're going, why am I doing these things? Why are these things happening to me? What you don't realize that this is all internal. It's not you. It's the hormones at play that are making you feel like you don't want to get out of bed, like you want chocolate. Like I have 3 different projects I'm working on right now, aside from my regular business. It takes everything in me to sit down and go, just work on it. Mm-hmm. Just work on it, because nothing in me wants to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's insane. So, we've talked about identity, re-identifying yourself. How are you doing that now?